Being a musician is not just about to play beautiful music, but also to make a living and to somehow to get by. So today I'm going to give you some tips and ideas how to diversify your income as a musician, how to start out to make money with your music. And if you're already making money with your music, I'm just going to give you some extra ideas and tips how to, how to add some more things on the top of that. If this is your first time here, I'm Beatrix. I'm a professional classical guitarist, content creator, streamer, kind of thing. I have difficulties to identify myself, but most importantly, I'm a full-time musician, and I am just really mad to see how many musicians actually are so underpaid in this industry, and they work so hard for so little or sometimes even no money. I think maybe one of the biggest problem is that we musicians, especially at the beginning of our career, are so get used to working for free. So suddenly it's just really hard to switch to a business mindset. But the good news is there are many different ways to make money in this industry. Let's start with the concerts, because I think concerts are still the most traditional way to make money through music. You can get a set price which the musician and the organizer agrees on, or you also can get a percentage or a share of the sold tickets. Either way, you will really have to work on your "I'm not doing that for free" attitude. But when you have a concert, you have also other options to get paid through that one gig. So for example, additionally, you can sell CDs and your merchandise on the concerts, and even digital downloads at your concert. Or consider creating a program poster that includes a digital download code, or pin a digital download code to your merchandise. So the idea here is to link different services and items together in a batch. By that, the people who buy tickets for your concert will feel that they get more value for their money. Therefore, they will become more engaged with you. Still under the concert category, I would say don't be scared to set up a little tip jar, even as a classical musician. I also put a tip jar in my last concert. If you don't make people to feel pressured to tip you, but you still make it visible enough for everyone, it's a really good additional way to make some cash. So make it visible, make it simple, maybe add a little "thank you so much" note on it, so people won't feel pressured but will feel that you appreciate the gesture. Over the past few years, and I think especially since COVID, online concerts became more and more popular and more accessible to everyone. Having online concerts is a really good way to connect to your audience from the comfort of your own apartment, of your own home, which is great. I love the idea of that. And there are lots of different services on the internet. You can look it up, just Google it, and there are lots of platforms which allows you to do this. But also you don't have to make it very official. I think you can just go live on YouTube or on Patreon, on Instagram, saying that you are going to play a live concert. The really fun part of these home concerts, online home concerts, is that they have a much different atmosphere than the traditional live concerts. I love these home concerts because they have a totally different vibe. So you really can let your real personality shine here. And now we are about to enter into categories which require some kind of additional skills like recording, editing and stuff like that. So for example, the next thing I would like to suggest is the recording gigs. And if you scroll through on Fiverr, you will see there are tons of people making additional money or making a living maybe just by these recording gigs. And you can be really creative here about what to sell, and the best part is that you set the rules. So you can sell, I don't know, ringtones or short bits of music from 5 seconds or 10 seconds length to anything, I don't know, 1 minute. Whatever works for you. You set your own deadlines, you set everything about it. You just have to deliver what you promise. I think it's kind of like becoming a session musician for someone, but again, from the comfort of your own home. Up next, I want to mention some more teaching related topics or teaching related ideas, starting with just, general tutoring. And I'm using the word tutoring over teaching, maybe because what I mean is you don't have to be the best guitarist on earth to have some valuable knowledge you want to or you can share with others. We all have something, I think we all have something to teach to others, and if you price yourself reasonably, that should be fine, and I think it should be fine. It is fine. Don't be shy to monetize your knowledge. And just between us, I learned way more about teaching by actual teaching rather than my teaching education. I was studying to become a music teacher for 5 years at university, and I learned the most after it. Kind of makes sense. You learn the most about everything by doing it. You can teach live people who live near you, but you also can teach online, which is my personal preference. I love to teach online. I set up a little studio kind of thing. I got my first few students through Fiverr, I think, and lately I get my students through Instagram mostly. Now, if you like teaching, but you really want to optimize the effort you put into it and your time, I think maybe online courses are for you. And the fun part with online courses is that you have to figure it out just once. You have to plan and write it down once. You have to record it once, edit it once, and then you can make money with it as long as you can. You can become a teacher on platforms like Udemy or Skillshare, where you can upload your courses and you will get paid through that platform. But you also can set up more independent courses that you sell through your own website or your own social media. The obvious thing here is that you have to come up with a topic which you feel really confident talking about, and you have to break it down into more reasonable, smaller chunks that make sense together, which will bring real value to people who purchase your online course, because eventually you want people to learn something. Now, I think for online courses it's not enough to just be a really good teacher or a really good musician, but you kind of need some other skills like video editing, recording. You can do that all alone. It just takes time and practice, and you will find all the resources you need online. Okay, but if this feels too big of a jump for you, you feel like, okay, I have a topic which I could talk about, which I could teach, and which I can break down into chapters that make sense, but recording an online course is just too big of a step for me at this moment. You still have the option to write booklets and sell them online, which is a great alternative of online courses. And the fun part is, it's a booklet. It doesn't have to be very long. It doesn't have to be as perfect as a book. It's going to be a booklet which you are going to sell on your Instagram or on your website or something. And what you are going to write about is really up to you again. You can write about certain type of exercises, a certain piece, I don't know, general tips for artists, mental health in music, anything you feel confident about. It doesn't have to be life-changing. It's a booklet. The most important, again, and I just can't stress this enough, is to answer specific questions and bring real value to people's life. Oh, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about the more composing and of the options. Maybe that's the most difficult option at the very beginning. Maybe you have an amazing idea, maybe you wrote a beautiful piece, but how are you going to make money with that? Now, I don't have too much experiences on this field because I'm not publishing my own compositions, but what I feel is that you just have to find the right way to introduce your music to people. So instead of trying to get people's attention, try changing the perspective and think about how to make this a little bit more about them and less about you. Because when people choose to listen to something or choose to watch something, they are not interested in you. They want to do it for themselves, if that makes sense. And that's not selfish. I mean, I can watch this word through my eyes only. I cannot watch this word through someone else's eyes who I don't know yet. So I assume one of the key things here is to find a way to connect to the audience, because as soon as they feel that they are getting value out of my work, out of my music, whatever, it's more likely that they are going to stick around. A good alternative here is to make arrangements for songs that are already very popular. I think it's also a good balance to introduce your music to the world. So if you are going to make an arrangement for a song that already exists, people more likely will find your work, and by that you are going to get some attention on the other work you have, or on the less popular, just yet you're going to go big. But the good thing is, you can play around with this, and you don't have to make arrangements for songs you don't actually like just because they are popular. It's very important to stay authentic and true to yourself. I know that guitar arrangements are very, very popular because guess what? Lots of people are playing guitar, and if there's a chance for them to be able to play their favorite movie or video game soundtrack, I think they are willing to pay a reasonable price for the arrangement. Our next topic is going to be releasing your music or releasing your album, which I just did for the first time last year, like half a year ago. I released my debut album, and guess what? A lot of people think that it's super difficult and that you can't do it without having a huge record label behind your back. But guess what? You can release your own album. If you're not releasing with a label, you get to keep more money at the end of the day than what record labels pays for their artists. Now, if you decide to release an album, you have lots of different options how to monetize it. For example, you can sell physical CDs, you can sell vinyls if you want to. It's a bit more of an expensive thing, but you can do that. Then you have the option to sell digital downloads for your album, and you also can go on the biggest music listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, whatever. Now, what I also wanted to talk about is funding an album, because it can be very, very pricey. A really powerful thing is crowdfunding. This is how I funded my album. So it's really good because you don't go into an investment like this blind. This whole project, releasing an album, became less of my album and more of a community thing, and every time I faced some obstacles, we were able to make jokes about it, we were able to laugh at the weird shit that happened during that time, and it really made it a fun and a really good experience. So just visit a crowdfunding page like, I don't know, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, go get funding, look up other projects and get inspired, check out what other people do, how they do that, and just do it. Now, before I talk about our next big, super important topic, social media, I wanted to take a minute to talk about my Patreon page. It is a really good way to support my work, my art, and in return for your support and for the money you spend there, you are going to get benefits like early access on all the videos, polls, and behind the scenes content. Stuff like I'm only uploading to Patreon, for example. Tiers start from the price of a cup of coffee. So head over to my Patreon, and thank you so much for considering to support me. Alright, going back to social media. First of all, I have to say social media has like endless monetization options. So let's start with the most simple, the membership-based platforms. For example, you can offer extra content like what I'm doing on Patreon, or you can do this membership kind of thing on YouTube. Once you get monetized, you can do it on Instagram. For certain channels, you can do it on Patreon. You can do memberships on Discord. These membership-based platforms are really good to grow a strong inner circle among your viewers and to really engage with real people who like your work. Another monetization option you have on social media is the tip jar kind of thing. So it's not built into these platforms, but for example, if you're streaming on Twitch, if you're streaming on YouTube, or if you are using, I don't know, Instagram, you can set up these tip jars which directs people to your PayPal, and they can leave you a tip to show some appreciation towards your content and towards your work. But I think one of the most desired kind of way to make money for most people on social media is through partnerships. So let's talk about that too in just a few words. There are different kinds of partnerships. Everyone can sign up for Amazon affiliate program, for example, and you can start sharing the items and the stuff you are using and the things you are recommending to people. And if they are buying through your affiliate links, you are going to receive a small amount of money after each purchase. That's a good way to start with partnerships. But the next kind of partnership is when you and the company agree on a set price you're going to get paid. You have a set price to post a photo on Instagram, to create a dedicated YouTube video to a certain product. I think this is very good because you get what you were promised. And there is, for example, a mixture of the two things. You get a set $500 to make a video, whatever, and then you will get a link, and for every 1,000 people who uses the link, you will get an extra X amount of money on top of your set rate. So my personal advice is consider joining some affiliate programs. And this might sound like you are not making money with your music directly, but I debate. Having some affiliate links to the gadget you use under your music videos on YouTube, for example, won't make you focus less on your music. So feel free to experiment a bit with this, and as long as you feel comfortable and authentic, you'll be just fine. The last thing I want to talk about, and I think maybe this is the most important advice I have to anyone here, to you, and if there's just one thing you bring with yourself after watching this video, it should be this: recycle your work. Now, what do I mean? For example, when you have a concert, you play a concert, you get paid for that, but you also can record that concert. So you have a recording of your live concert. Now, what to do with that? You can upload that in full length to your subscription-based platforms like Patreon. You can chunk it up into 4 to 5 minute long videos to your YouTube channel, and you can chunk it up into 30-second long videos to your short format platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and you can make YouTube shorts of it. Another idea which I'm thinking about, I'm not comfortable with it just yet, but maybe it's going to be something you like, is if you have a studio recording session, maybe you're recording an album, maybe you're recording some songs, just bring a computer and a camera there and stream your recording session on Twitch, or not necessarily on Twitch, maybe you want to stream it on YouTube, you can stream it on YouTube. It's all about you, it's your content. But while you are making your album, you can share the process of making it with your fans, with your audience, with people who love your work already, and potentially you can reach new audiences. And again, after you had this session, you can upload the recording to your subscription-based platform. You can chunk it up into bits for YouTube videos. You can chunk it up into even smaller bits for TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and you can recycle a bigger work into lots of smaller pieces of content. And by doing that, you get more chance to target a bigger audience, because some people are more open to watch longer format videos, but there are people who they scroll through the YouTube shorts or the TikTok. So this is something I also have to learn, and I really have to push myself, but work smart, not hard. So in conclusion, I think there are many ways to monetize your music, and it's really up to your creativity to find the most suitable way for you, for your type of music, for your type of personality. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to check out my Patreon for more bonus content. Oh yeah, and very important, if you think I missed something, if you would like to add something on this list, please let me know in the comments, and maybe it's going to be a really important piece of knowledge for someone else. So let's share what we know, and yeah, let's talk about this in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching again, and see you in the next video. Bye!